Welcome back to 10 Takeaways. I'm Akira.
And I'm Aurora.
Today we got Rango and Luffy with us. All right, so today for my stories, I got a good coworker story. I got an Am I the A-hole? And I also have a good story from...
Petty Revenge.
Petty Revenge. Sorry, guys, I forgot what my last one was. All right, Aurora, what do you have for us today?
I have some Petty Revenge, a Malicious Compliance, and an Ask Reddit.
Awesome. Let's get into them. What's your first one?
So my first one is a Petty Revenge. Exchange student host family got what they deserved. Just over 20 years ago, when I attended high school, we had a Japanese exchange student join our class. She was very lovely, kind, spoke good English, and generally a lovely person to be around. The type of girl that makes you want to smile when you speak to her because of her sunny disposition. I became good friends with her, and over the next few months, she came to my house quite a bit to have dinner with my family and got to know and love her like I did. After a while, I noticed her not being her happy, normal self. I put it down to the fact that she was missing her family and tried to cheer her up the best I could. One day, however, it all became too much for her and she broke down crying in front of my mom and dad and I. She explained that her host family were not very nice to her and that she thought they had been stealing stuff from her room. It wasn't anything great value that was being stolen, however. It was just the principle. And the fact that despite it being wrong, they were making her feel unsettled and sad. After all, she was supposed to trust this family. When she had asked them about the missing items, they had all laughed in her face and told her she was going crazy and that they hadn't taken anything. The next morning, she woke up to an empty chocolate wrappers pushed under her bedroom door. At first, she was confused, and then she checked her things for the chocolate she had brought to take back to her family and realized that it was gone. Over the next few days, she replaced the chocolate, and the same thing happened. Empty wrappers pushed under her bedroom door. This happened 4 times in total before she eventually broke down crying to me and my parents. We consoled her, and my dad told her not to worry. He had a plan. My dad left the house and returned about half an hour later with some laxative chocolate that he had been to buy at the pharmacy. He explained to my friend what it was and told her to take the chocolate that she had bought for her family out of the wrappers, then put the laxative chocolate inside the wrappers. Later that evening, she returned to her host family house to set her plan in motion. Nothing happened that evening. The chocolate remained where it was, the same for the second night. After 3 nights, my friend woke up to see empty chocolate wrappers pushed under her bedroom door. Sure enough, someone had stolen them, but the question remained, who? This question was quickly answered when my friend saw the youngest teenage daughter of the host family rush into the bathroom after a while, come out to tell her mom that she didn't feel very well and had a tummy ache. My friend was pleased to see that the girl was in and out of the bathroom time and time again, and laughed to herself each time she saw her running there. She didn't expect the girl to suspect it was anything to do with the chocolate, but the amusement of seeing her punished for her crimes was enough for her. The girl didn't stop having trouble with her bowels for over 24 hours.
I love it. I'm so glad this dad helped her get to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That is so nice of him. But dang, that poor girl. That's so sad. I feel like an exchange student thing would be so fun to do, and to have it tarnished because you have ended up with
Yeah.
a terrible host family. It's so sad. And like, and to make matters worse, because like you're probably already missing your family and like sad about all that, and then to have on top of it these people like making you feel sad and like terrible and crazy, and taking your stuff, like small value or not, someone should be taking your stuff, and then on top of it to make you feel crazy about it too.
Exactly. Yeah, for them to be like, no, you're just making it up. No, because I keep getting these empty wrappers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, luckily she made a really great friend who was looking out for her, and those parents were awesome about it and always have her over and always make her feel comfortable, that like it wasn't like an all around worst experience that she like maybe regretted coming.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Too bad they can be her family.
Yeah.
Dang. Right.
Top comment. Why even take an exchange student if you're just going to make them feel bad about staying there?
Honestly.
WTF.
Honestly, that's what I'm saying. What the hell?
Someone
What's
replied
going
to that saying, I had the same question, but some people just stuck. But some people just suck. I was living in Florida and had an 18-year-old high school student from Italy staying with me for his senior year. Turns out there was another exchange student at the same high school from Germany. The host family for the German boy was so shitty to him that he stayed most of the time at my place, and I just ended up hosting both of them for the rest of the year. I didn't have a whole lot of room. The boys had to share a room. But fuck, if I was going to let that kid be treated like shit, and they were great kids. They were both 18, so technically they could be out doing whatever they wanted, but they were polite and respectful, finished their years up, and went back home. To they got up to a few shenanigans as young men are wont to do, skateboarding where they weren't supposed to, hanging out late, but a quick explanation of local rules and pulling the occasional we don't speak the language card fixed that. Edit, editing to add response. Host family is getting paid. I believe the German boy's host was getting paid because he was on a different program, but the program I was participating in didn't do that. I was, for all intents and purposes, the parent that year. I paid for my students as though they were my own kids. Part of the deal was that their parents would send them some walking around money so that I wasn't having to give them allowances or anything like that, but I was not paid for them to stay with me. Yeah, that's most of the ones I know.
Yeah, same.
They were not paid for. They just you signed up for the experience of it,
Facts,
of
yeah.
hosting
And then
someone.
you like learn some of the culture, you get to get some of that. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's usually how they are. So that's crazy that they get paid. And then I guess if they get paid, I feel like that's more likely for people to get into bad situations like that.
Yeah, because
Which
they
is kind
just
of,
want to get paid.
yeah, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, which is so sad.
Damn. It's for exchange. And that's so sad, dude. And you can't just like go back because like it's technically school. Like you're here for
Yeah, you're
school.
signed up, you're
You're
there,
there.
like you have no return ticket to later.
Yeah. Right, right. Luffy, sit down,
But
please.
that would be me. I would
Sit down, please.
pretend to not know. I
Sit
would.
down, please.
Sorry, I don't speak that. I can't help you
Yeah,
when I
dude.
get in trouble.
All right. My next one is from, or my first one, not my next. This is my first one. My first one's from Coworker Stories, posted by Happy Perspective 7056. I got trapped in a small room by my colleague, just asking for advice. I work at a sport club with people my age, around 25. And yesterday I got a little late and we were left with four colleagues at the bar. Me and one colleague decided to store our sports bags in a separate room. When I was trying to change my shoes, my colleague decided to joke around, close the door on me. At first, it was funny until I heard his car speeding off. The other two colleagues were inside a different building. It was pitch black in there. My normal bag with my phone was outside. I found the light switch but couldn't find a way out. I tried to scream, but no answer. After 20 to 30 minutes, I assumed my other colleagues were gone and legit lost a little hope. Mind you, this sports club is a remote area. I decided to at least try to break out. I was not going to sit there all night, looked around, used my sports equipment to break the wooden wall. I tried to focus on one point and made 20 by 20 centimeter hole. I poked my head out and screamed my lungs out. After 10 minutes, I heard footsteps from the other two colleagues that were still just closing up. Thank God. They tried to find the key and rescued me. At the same time, the cops arrived. They didn't check the scene and just saw me breaking down since I just got out of there. I told them my boyfriend was picking me up, but insisted on taking a breathalyzer. I failed since we had a few closing drinks. At the end, the cops went to this colleague's house, trapped me. At the end, the cops went to this colleague's house that tracked me, and he claimed that I had a key, insisted I could have just came out there myself. Again, my bag with my phone and keys was outside of the room. I feel like the cops blamed me, to be honest. Again, my boyfriend was picking me up, so I wasn't driving, which I told the cops.
That's horrible. I'd break down crying too as soon as they opened it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, why wouldn't you just walk all out together and make sure she's fine? There was no need to, like, leave her.
Facts. He thought it was funny. Like, whether you think she has a key or not, no one should be locked in a room and scared, and unless you make sure she has her key.
Yeah.
Some people are just so.
Or, like, you can, like, close
Yeah.
your room, whatever. Like, it's still not a funny prank, but I guess if you're gonna do it, still sit out in the parking lot and make sure she actually makes it out if
Yeah.
you're gonna close her in.
Facts. That's all I'm saying. If you want to scare her because you want her to think you drove away, then do it and then park down a little bit and make sure she got out though.
Yeah.
Come back in a few.
Not just leave her to be in there all night.
Yeah. Like what the hell? Dude, I'd be livid. Someone goes, it doesn't matter if you were drinking. You were being held against your will. What's wrong with these people? Yeah, that's what also gets me too. Is the cost made her take a breathalyzer? What does that have to do with literally anything?
Nothing. I wasn't driving.
I wasn't driving. I'm not gonna drive. I didn't close myself in this closet.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the heck out.
Yes. And I'm screaming upset because I was locked in a closet for over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I had to fight my way out of it because I assumed everybody was gone. And if they weren't, they were in a totally different building than me. The other two people closing up. Meaning I was supposed to close up this building. Meaning they might not even come over here.
Yeah,
So I
honestly.
don't get what the point of that was. That was just stupid that they did the breathalyzer on her. Someone said, I doubt HR would find it as funny as your coworker did. Someone else comment, yeah, don't let this slide. Talk to your management, HR, whoever you need to. Chances are if you let it go, he could do something similar again to you or to someone else. Or maybe even escalate if he thinks you can get away with it with this nonsense. What was his reason? It's just a prank, bro? Yeah, he said it was a prank and that he assumed my colleagues would let me out. Absolute moron.
Again, even if it was and you think they're going to, sit in the parking lot and see. But either way, the fear of being locked in a room is an actual phobia. So it's not a prank. Let's just not do it at all.
Yeah. So dumb. Someone put, OP, any chance of an update, please? And luckily, they responded,
Nice.
which wasn't there when I found this story. So awesome. Update. So I took a few days off of work to relax and process what had happened. My close friends and my BF was amazing as support. I go back on Sunday. In the meantime, the colleague that locked me in confessed to my boss that he felt awful about it. He thought it was a misunderstanding and I had a key, etc. Got some messages from neighbors and colleagues wishing me well and that they can't imagine what I've been through. I hope his insurance will cover the damage to the wall and my sports equipment. I have not spoken to my colleague and I am waiting for him to apologize, maybe volunteer to get my sports equipment fixed. Thanks for all you guys' support. Means a lot, for real. It looks like that's the only update they gave on it. But yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Also, you can't go into your boss saying like how sorry you feel and you're
I
just
mean,
so
they probably have
awful.
cameras, right? That probably show that he legit closed her in there.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like he was still like
It
saying
was
it
a
was a prank
misunderstanding prank.
and a
Yeah.
misunderstanding prank that he thought she had her key, but he's so sorry, he's so apologetic is what he told the boss. But yet she hasn't got an apology.
No. So you don't feel bad.
So no, you
At
don't
least
feel bad.
apologize and
You're
maybe I
trying to
won't.
make sure you don't lose your job.
Yeah, maybe apologize to me and maybe I won't take it more further. But
Yeah.
I'm going to HR again and be like, no, he literally
Yeah.
did this.
I'll still talk to management and say he still doesn't apologize. So he
Yeah.
obviously doesn't feel that bad.
Pool cameras. He
Yeah.
obviously locked me in there.
Yeah. It wasn't funny. Like, no one should work here that thinks that's funny.
Yeah.
Like, okay, still terrible prank. Still don't think it's a prank. Still don't think it's funny if you do it to somebody. But at least I could take it as a prank. If it happened to me, I could at least take it as a prank. If you left me in there for like 5 minutes and came back and unlocked it.
Yeah.
And made sure I came out.
But we also better have that joking relationship.
That's true too.
It
We
better not
want to
just
be
be you're
best.
locking me in a room as a joke when I've never laughed or joked with you before.
Yeah,
We've had maybe like 5 conversations.
facts.
I'm gonna be mad.
I want to know how good of friends they are.
Yeah.
And obviously, they must not be that good of friends if she's not finding it still funny now.
Yeah.
And if he's not apologizing. But yeah, if I just one of my friends and like I figured out they got stuck in there longer than I intended and everything, I would feel so bad. I'd be apologizing nonstop. I would already offer to fix their equipment that got broken, trying to get out. Like I would do so much stuff to like repay it because I would feel
Yeah. If
so
it was a
bad about it.
misunderstood prank, I would have been like,
Facts.
whoops.
Facts.
This went a little further than I meant.
Like I'm so sorry it got out of hand. I did not mean for that to
Yeah.
happen.
Because
And
it
if
was
we were
fully an accident, I would be
so
like, okay,
facts.
I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have freaking laughed without knowing you got out safely. If you actually
Exactly.
had a key, I'm so sorry. Let me pay for your equipment.
Exactly. So all of us is saying you're not friends. He's not really sorry. And so, yeah, I definitely would
100%.
keep pushing the manager to do some kind of repercussions on this guy.
Something.
He deserves it.
All right. My next one is Malicious Compliance, posted by Jumping Cow Joker 24. Well, let me give you a warning. Stinks to be you.
Mm.
Apologies for formatting. I am writing Apologies for formatting. I am writing this on my mobile. Also, I'm not sure whether this be here or off my chest or petty revenge, but I decided to post this here first as I feel it fits pretty handily. This happened about a week and a half ago. I was taking a walk in a small park that has wooded areas and a few walking trails. I decided I wanted to take the shortest path as it was getting late. About halfway through the path, I saw a skunk in the middle of the path, and I am sure, based on the title, most of you already know where this is going. I turned around and decided it is not worth it to proceed further, and approximately halfway was enough. I exited the path the same way I entered, and as I was entering, I saw my old teacher of mine from high school. Let's call her Samantha, not her real name. Miss Samantha was a teacher that went out of her way to nitpick everything I did in her class in high school. Note, it has been almost 12 years since I last saw her, and 13 since I was in her class. Anyway, with this backstory aside, I went to greet her and said, "Hello, Miss Samantha. How have you? Hi, I'm trying to take my daily walk to shortest path. Don't bother me." I wouldn't. You said hello. This conversation is over until I get back from my walk, or you can walk with me and we can catch up. I just wanted to. This conversation is over now. Wait until I finish my walk and we can catch up. Understand? Jumper Joking Cow 24. At this point, I think for a moment, I'm not this type of person who would normally just let someone walk into a potential skunking, but she was just rude to me twice and did nitpick everything I did in high school, so I chose to say nothing and just took a seat on the bench nearby. See, was that so hard? We don't need to be a know-it-all. That was your issue back as a student. And Miss Samantha went down that path, and Miss Samantha went down that path. As she did, I whipped out my phone and texted my parents that I'd be hearing back. I texted my parents that I'd be heading back to my childhood home a bit late. We'll help them with the dog later. Eat dinner without me, I'll be a bit long. One thing to take into account is that the entrance and exit for the shortest path, we have an exit parallel to each other. The entrance is on one side of the bench I sat, and the other side was the exit. In this case, the entrance is behind, exit in front, so family can wait on the bench and see their relatives exit. Normally, I knew I'd see her on the way out if she'd complete the whole route, but in this case, I had a feeling I'd smell her coming out first, knowing her attitude. Sadly, my instincts were spot on. As I am on the phone playing a few games, I heard Miss Samantha's voice vaguely in the background, and my thought at the time was, "Oh no, she ran into the skunk. Here we go." And I do not joke. That just, as I finished my thought, I heard the sound of a woman yell, maybe a scream. I couldn't really make out 100%, but the wind was blowing my way, so I was downwind of the path, the skunk and her, so it wasn't long before I could smell what happened. Miss Samantha did eventually come out from the path's exit, and the smell she was emitting was awful. It reminded me a bit of like raw horseradish
Ew.
getting peeled, as it was really eye-watering. Ugh, she moaned. I tried to warn you about that skunk. I figured it out when I got sprayed. You knew I'd react to that, didn't you? I shrugged. I wagered a guess, yeah. By the way, mind taking a few steps downwind so it's easier to talk? After that, she gave me her phone number and asked me to contact her when I planned to come back. She hoped it wouldn't be when she was still reeking of skunk odor. As I said at the beginning of this tale, it has been a week and a half. She still has some lingering skunk smell. Found out that up until that moment, she was doing okay as well. But she also told me she got sprayed twice. When I asked her why she did not turn back after she sprayed the first time, she told me if she already got sprayed and was going to smell like skunk anyway, she wanted to complete her walk. A fun little antidote is that after everything, she admitted she was being petty, and when I told her I still wanted to study the foreign language she taught and took some classes in college, she told me that if I ever wanted to practice, to let her know, and she'll do it without the pettiness this time. To be honest, I think the skunking humbled her quite a bit, and hopefully she won't be forced to deal with residual lingering odor much longer. But anyways, thanks for reading.
That is hilarious. I mean, she's her own enemy because she's the person that kept cutting her off and ignoring her and shutting her down.
Yeah.
And so she played herself. And that's probably why I don't know if she probably humbled herself overall. She maybe a little bit did, but she at least humbled herself enough to you. Because she's thinking, this person, even though it's kind of like nitpicky back in the past, and I kept being rude to her this time, she was still trying to keep being nice and trying to like tell me, and she was nice enough to still wait to talk to me and stuff.
Yeah.
And wasn't like rude or anything when she came out. She goes, I tried to warn you, but she wasn't like, like you're so funny, like that's hilarious, and like being rude or anything. So she's probably like, okay, this girl's a nice person, like obviously she's like cool, whatever. And I'm glad that she now is really nice because now like they have like a more civil now relationship for her to work with her and like talk to her about the whole like studying and stuff, since that's what she wants to go into is that language. So it worked out for the best for OP, but damn, suck if that's what she had to do to learn her lesson.
Yeah, 100%.
Like my mic kind of fired.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine coming back out to get an I told you so like that.
Oh yeah.
And then to like, luckily she was also like, I don't think I ever would have admitted that I got skunked twice.
That you were stubborn.
They were so stubborn. You were like, I'm gonna finish my walk, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And got
To be
skunked
so stubborn to
twice.
not listen to the beginning warning you, and then be so stubborn to get skunked twice. I don't think I would admit that.
Yeah. But it might have humbled her all around, not just to her, because she's like, oh my
Maybe.
God, I'm so stubborn. I got skunked twice.
And I'm
I
still
came
seeing a
back,
week and a half later.
I, a week and a half later, it still smelled that much.
Yeah.
And then, like, to have to come back and have to, like, face your student who tried to help you, even after being so mean to her throughout her high school career. And then after that, like to ever say, can you stand a little downwind?
Yeah. That took me out. Oh,
That right there would make me shut up. I would be like,
yeah.
I have no grounds to stand on anymore.
Facts.
I just got asked to stand downwind because I smell so freaking bad.
Yeah.
From being so stubborn that I missed all the warning signs all the way down.
Exactly. And the
So
direct
funny.
sign of it already skunking you once.
Yeah, literally, it's insane.
Jesus. That's hilarious.
Top comment? Huh. There may be a human being in there somewhere under that rough exterior. You were quite generous not to laugh at her, even though she well deserved it. Also, yeah, to get the like downwind comment and stuff out and not laugh once.
Oh my God.
I couldn't do it.
I don't think I can hold it back.
I would be sitting there crying when she popped out.
I would think I'm like in the moment I'd be like, laughing when I hear her scream. And then I'm like, okay, cool, I'm good. And when she gets over here, I'll be good. But as soon as I smell her, I would die laughing.
Ah,
That's hilarious.
you would think I would just like cut an onion. I'd be crying so
Yes,
hard when
man.
she got out of
I
there.
don't think I could even be sitting up straight anymore. I'd be laughing so
No.
hard. Oh my gosh, it would take me
And then I would be
out.
texting everyone I know. Remember Miss whoever whatever?
Yeah, do y'all remember Samantha?
Yeah.
This girl got skunked.
Yeah,
Bro,
100%.
I would be losing it. Oh man.
OP replied to that top comment. I like to try and be civil if possible to the point my best friend has to tell me far too often I'm too nice.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
Top
Because the
commenter said
fact that
to,
you kept trying to push, like, you are too nice if you kept pushing. Because I think after the first time, if someone cut me off, I'm like, fine, karma will get you. I don't care.
yeah.
Whatever, the skunk can get you, bro. I'm not dealing with this. I'll leave it. And then, again, I would be dying laughing.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, this person's way too nice.
Top commenters replied to them and said, it's a superpower. Good for you. I mean, yeah, it is because now you have a good opportunity to work with her and further your career with her.
Fox, yeah.
I wish it could be me. I'm too petty. I'd be like,
Yeah. I try to be as nice as I can, but if someone already was mean to me back
yeah, I
when,
give energy
like
back.
I think if somebody cut me off and kept cutting me off in that moment, but we've had past experiences that were really good and they were super nice to me, okay, I'd probably still try to keep talking to them and trying to tell them. But for the fact that she has bad experiences in the past with this person, and then they keep doing that to me, no, forget it. I'm
Yeah.
not. I would get petty in this situation, even though I try to be the nice person. I couldn't. I couldn't handle it. I'd be like,
I'm
nah.
I'm nice. I'm nice up front. And I will be nice as long as you're nice.
Yeah, nice to
Cuz I'm a
extent.
I'm a nice person generally,
Yeah,
but I feed off energy, so the energy you give me, I'm going to give right back to you.
yeah.
But
Oh,
even being a nice person, like I have a few teachers, like hers doesn't, I guess, doesn't sound too bad, but I have a few teachers. I would have never worn them in the first place, but I would be sitting on that bench to watch them walk out.
yeah, bro. Or in my car, because I would not want that smell near me.
Yeah, they would just see me in my car.
Yum.
Yeah.
Yes. No, definitely, exactly.
Another top comment is, wait, so she nitpicked everything you did in class. Then you haven't seen her for over a decade. She insulted and disrespected you, and then she gave you her number. I can't decide if she or you were the weird one.
Yeah, dude. Hilarious.
I guess a couple of people are thinking it's
Hmm?
a couple of people think it is ChatGPT because someone replied to that person saying the weird one is the chatbot that wrote this. And then someone else replied to that saying, I thought it was ChatGPT at first, but there's a couple of typos. Texted, and weather. So
I don't
I
know.
think it's good old fashioned creative writing.
I don't know. I can see the story being real. I've met some people in my day, especially teachers, that are stubborn as hell and would just keep walking through the damn skunk
Yeah.
and would cut me off when I'm trying to tell them. Not that I would, but. And I've met some really nice people that would still try to be really nice, even though people are mean to them in the moment. Getting them
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it definitely could be fake, but I don't know. I definitely have met people on both sides of the spectrum of that
Mm-hmm.
story.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, my next one is from Am I the A-hole? And it's posted by Murky Willingness 763. Am I the a-hole for giving my daughter $60 a week, but my son nothing? I, 45 female, have two kids, 17 female and 15 male. We moved earlier this year to be closer to my parents as my parents' health is declining. My daughter was excited about the move, but my son has struggled to adjust. Due to the move, my job shifted to hybrid, and I needed to work and I needed a work from home setup. My bedroom is too small, and the only option were the lounge or one of the kids' rooms. And the only options were the lounge and one of my kids' rooms during school hours. I proposed this to them. My son flat out refused. No way in hell. But my daughter offered her room and half joked about charging me rent for my space, for the space. I thought it was fair as I get a $20 a day work from home allowance. I agreed to give it to her if she was okay with me setting up a small office in her room. I work from 8:30 to 5 and she usually starts homework right after I finish, so it works out well. Now the issue, my son is pissed that his sister is getting $60. I don't do a regular allowance, just canteen money about $10 a week and other needs as they come up. I told him he had the same opportunity and was now shit out of luck. He got angry, brought up the move, saying he never gets to see his friends. For the record, I drive them back to visit every 2 weeks for a visit. I told him I understand his feelings, but said I wouldn't tolerate being spoken to like shit. He then started an argument with his sister too, going in on her for being an opportunist bitch, and she called him a whiny little a-hole. To cool off, I offered one of them the option to stay at their grandparents for the night, not as a punishment, but to break tension. My son opted to go, and while dropping him off, my mom told me I was favoring my daughter and should be paying them equally. My dad disagreed, saying my son had the chance and was shit out of luck. Am I the a-hole? Says ETA. The conversation took place over the course of the afternoon. I didn't immediately agree to the deal with my daughter. I offered it to my son first, who reiterated, hell no, and get the F out of my room. I also should mention the reason I have the smallest room is due to the lack of insulation in the ceiling and flooring, making it damp. And as we're heading into winter, I wasn't sending either kid in there. The room also fit a single bed and a set of drawers with essentially no other space at all. We own the house in Auckland, New Zealand, and I don't have the spare cash to get it insulated at the moment or even fit any equipment to the room to work from home in there.
I don't think she's an a-hole, especially with the edit. I mean, I really didn't really think she was.
Mm.
Like, yeah, it feels not great that one kid's getting something and the other one's not, especially when they don't really get allowance. But if she did go back to him and say, like, this is the new deal, there's money on the line, like you get rent,
Mm.
and he still said no, then yeah, that's an opportunity he chose to pass up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that at that point you did offer it to both kids, the exact same offer, even though the daughter's the one who brought it up. Because at first I was gonna be like, I don't know, it doesn't seem great that she just automatically got it because she brought it up. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is smart thinking.
Yeah.
I probably would have done it too. I would have been like, well, I better be charging rent.
Yeah.
Um, but, I wouldn't, I just can't say she's an a-hole for that because, I mean, he got every opportunity. And, like, I guess if you really want, I could be like, well, you could have me in your room if you want me to. But do you want me in your room? Because I'm
Facts.
sure he's still not going to take that deal, even if
Mm-hmm.
you offered it now.
Well, it sounded like she brought it back to him after the money thing and reiterated hell no and told her to get the hell
Yeah,
out of
I
the room.
think it was after they decided that the person could charge rent.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like recent. But I'm saying
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even if she came today back to him
Oh,
and
you're
said
saying after a while of him realizing the
she
money
realizing
and
she gets this much
thinking, dang.
money, like it's like a full
Mm-hmm.
$60 a week kind of ordeal. I bet
Yeah.
even if she offered it to him today, he'd still be mad and still wouldn't want to take it
I
because
think
I'm
so.
sure he just doesn't want his mom in his room and he's just like trying to play the card of you should also give me money.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And honestly, if I was the mom, I think I would test that. I'd be like, "Do you want me to move into your room?"
Facts.
And then the money could be yours. Do you want me to move it to your room?
Yeah.
And see what he says.
Or have an office set in both of your rooms, and then
Yeah, you
I
each
split
get
the
30
money
bucks.
and I switch off rooms depending
Mm-hmm.
on the day. You can offer to him, but I bet you, yeah, I do think he'll still say no.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
100%.
15-year-old guy.
Yeah, and he's like, he's gonna bring him this whole move thing as
Yeah.
like a whole other reason why you should give him this money to guilt you into giving him this money without earning the money.
Yeah. Facts. Someone commented, I can understand your logic, but I also don't totally agree with giving one child such a huge amount of money and the other nothing. And I think you're missing the bigger picture for your son, where he feels like he needs are not being considered as important within the family. If you're renting or own the whole house, then renting back space from a child is renting something you already paid for. As the adult, it wouldn't be unreasonable to expect the larger room, especially if you need to work from home. If your daughter has a larger room than you are already giving her benefits that most parents probably wouldn't. So I don't think you need to pass on the whole working from home allowance to use the limited space that is available. However, I get your point that it would be nice to reward her for her kindness and giving up some of her privacy by letting you use her space. I think the problem is that you are giving quite a lot of money to your daughter. I bet hardly any 17-year-olds in a similar financial position get given a $250 a month allowance. I suspect that $10 a week would have been more than enough for her to feel grateful. You could have come up with something that benefit your whole family, covering travel back to your son's friends, for example, if he is old enough to do the journey on public transport, or having a special meal each month. If you wanted to reward your daughter increasing independence with an allowance, that would be fine too, with the expectation that your son would get the same at the same age. I guess the only part that made me error towards you're the a-hole is that you have been so dismissive of your son's needs. And that phrase, shit out of luck, feels so rejecting. And to encapsulate how he must feel to be uprooted from his peer group, watching his sister being financially indulged whilst he is just getting criticism. You say you won't tolerate being spoken to like shit, having just spoken to him that way. It seems like do as I say and not as I do. To read a post with such polarized opinions about your daughter as a wonderful child and your son as troublesome, one makes me wonder whether you are projecting a negative opinion about men/boys or his father, or have struggled with other elements of your relationship with your son, or whether you actually feel a bit guilty about moving him and have persuaded yourself it is the right thing to think so strongly that to really acknowledge his feelings would be difficult.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
that's true. Like you should give the respect you want to get
mhm.
for sure. So like yeah, the definitely I didn't really touch on the language thing, but yeah, the language she got mad about him using, she did use back at him from the start. She used it first.
Mhm.
So if they get that and yeah, I guess I was just thinking $20 a day. I wasn't really thinking what that adds up to.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I guess it is a lot of money to be renting this space while he gets absolutely nothing.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think I would have maybe done like $5 a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, because yeah, when you're thinking about it, $250, I could never imagine my dad ever giving me $250 in high school.
Yeah, man. For real. Honestly, just to rent out like a small little desk when you're not even home cuz it says during school hours.
Yeah, so it's like not even space you're using when you're
Yeah.
using it.
Facts.
Besides, like, I guess when she starts her homework up whenever she finishes up. I don't know what New Zealand's school schedule is, but like for us, we got out at like 3 and I was home by like 3:30. So
Mhm.
it's like 2 hours. I'm probably, but I wouldn't even be doing my homework anyways. Right when I got home, I would be watching TV or whatever. So I mean, if it's not really disrupting your life, $20 is a lot a day.
Yeah.
I still don't know if I would call her an a-hole for it. I still don't think I would call her an a-hole. I just think, like,
I
she's a
do.
parent sorting something new out.
I think she's a little bit of a jerk. Not really for the situation paying the daughter. I do think that's a crazy amount for just like using when it's not really in use. Cause yeah, this person not OP, but someone does say that too. Schools finish at 2:30, 3:30.
Okay.
So yeah, most people and they're like, well, I'll just read this whole comment first and then I'll say
Okay,
my
yeah.
piece. Also, having to keep her room neat and tidy constantly for her mom to be able to work and possibly do Zoom calls. She has to be up and out of her room by 8:30 on work days, including school holidays. School finishes at 2:30 3 to 3:30, so she doesn't have access to her room right away. It's fair compensation for giving up what is meant to be her own personal space in the house and the inconveniences that come with the offer. If the son wants money, he should negotiate with his mom to be paid for other tasks that probably need to be done. And one thing I do have to say about this comment is they said about school holidays and stuff, but it sounds like she has like another area she can work in, and she's only going to be doing it during work. Uh, yeah, she said something at one point like, oh, options were the lounge or one of the kids' rooms during school hours. Meaning, I bet you on school holidays she's gonna go to this lounge. So a little bit there, I'm like, no, but I do get having to keep your room and stuff clean. And that's why I think the daughter should get money. Yes, because you are gonna have to keep your room clean at all times. You're losing some of your privacy because your mom is in your room. She is gonna look around probably. So I mean, you are losing some of your privacy, but I don't think it should be that much money because it really is kind of unfair to your son. And kind of like your daughter's not losing it when she's on breaks. She's not losing when she's home. She probably has to lose it for like an hour or two because you get off at 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she's losing it for a small amount of time when she's not at school. I'm pretty sure if you get off at like 2:30, 3:30, you're usually at school earlier than 8:30. Well, school probably
Yeah.
starts at 8:30, which means you ready
You're
leave
already
for
out by
school
7-ish,
out by the
7:30
time
ish.
that mom's gonna start work.
Yeah.
So you're not losing it for a super long time. So I do think she needs to get a little compensation, maybe $10 a week, like that person said, would probably be better
Yeah.
compensation. It's less drastic. Um, but I do think the mom is a jerk for the fact that I think your son's just more upset about the whole situation overall of moving and then adding that on top of it. I think she does need to sit down with the son and have a heart to heart conversation and not get upset at what he has to say. Even if he gets upset and raises his voice, you're an adult in the situation. You have to keep it calm, keep it civil,
Yeah.
keep it on topic of seeing how he feels. I get that you're saying like you're going back every 2 weeks for him to see his friends, but that still doesn't always feel fair. Like we moved a lot as kids, and sometimes it doesn't always feel fair that you are visiting your friends, but it's not like you get to see your friends every day. You're going to a new school. You don't have friends at that school, so you don't get to hang out with your friends at school, and like you don't feel secure now because now you have to find a new group. And you're 15. That means you're probably in high school.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of tough and stuff like that. And then also your grandparents are declining in health, and being a kid that might also feel bad for you,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that about your grandparents and like stuff, and like you can't get mad that you moved either because you know it's for a good reason. So I feel like this mom needs I feel like she's kind of a jerk for the fact that I feel like she does need to sit down and have this conversation with her son
Yeah.
and kind of understand where he's coming from, and maybe even think of like good ways that he can earn money, like that person was saying, like offer chores or stuff like that. Like, give him ways to earn money. So it's not just the daughter earning money based off this. I get it feels a little unfair because he has to do chores for it. But technically, she's kind of doing chores for it because she will have to clean her room every day. She every
And
morning she gets ready, she's gonna have to make sure her room's
yeah,
tidy.
I was gonna
I
say you
mean,
could do that. You could just be like, you get payment by keeping your room tidy every single day. Like every day you keep your room tidy, you get $5 or whatever.
that's
Because then
true.
it will keep her to keep the room tidy for you to work there, and it'll get him to keep his room tidy, and then everyone's getting equal payment.
Facts.
And then like the whole office space thing, it is mostly in time she's not there. If you want, you can give her maybe $2 more or something, so she gets like 7 every single day because $2 is for the like $1 an hour that you're still
Mhm.
using the room when she's there, then it won't feel so crazy unfair.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, and then also like you should have like conversations with him to see how he's like doing, feeling, any way, other ways you can help, um, like maybe like one of his friends keep him like a whole weekend or something, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Because yeah, I get it, like you're driving him every 2 weeks, which is really nice as the mom. And I know like we used to when we moved to Indiana and we would drive to Ohio to go visit our friends like once a month or like once a month or every 2 months, then it was kind of like, yeah, it's a great to go see your friends, but within that time span, your friends have been hanging out, your friends have been making more inside jokes, your friends have all these fun new memories that they're talking about while you're hanging out, and it feels like you've missed so much. And then you're
Yeah.
like, but yeah, and then like, yeah, like you said, like you can't resent the fact that you move and this is your new life because it has to do with your grandparents who you love and you like, yeah, you probably want your mom to be there for them and you want to be there for them, but at the same time, it's all around just like a sucky situation. And like if you do talk to him about it and he is mad and he is yelling, if you talk to him respectfully without cussing at him, he'll probably talk to you respectfully without cussing at you.
Facts.
And you have a leg to stand on when you say don't talk to me like that.
Exactly. Exactly. But Reddit did vote them Dale.
Oh,
Most people were mad about him, and it did feel like she was favoring the son, but also just like kind of mean to the son.
yeah, the way she talked, I do see what they're saying. Like the way she talks about him
Hmm.
makes her more of the a-hole
Yeah.
rather than the situation. It just seems like maybe the situation more led to an issue because of the way she talks and treats the son.
Yeah. But I don't know if it was like a equal, like full blown, because there was, when I was reading through them, there was a good amount of people like defending her choice and saying like the son can't just expect money, which is true. I feel like there should be something around it, but I also don't think the daughter should be making as much as she does for
Yeah, it's
it.
an outlandish amount for the room.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, it is your house, but it is supposed to be their own, both personal spaces.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think she definitely should get something, but I think you need to put like a rule. Like I kind of like the one that you said of like he has to keep his room neat and together and organized like she does, and you count that as like why more she's getting the money more so than you renting the
Mm-hmm.
space. I like that because technically you are kind of paying her to be kind of like a maid and keep it clean and doing this and that. So, yeah. That's my thoughts, but seems like most people on Reddit are kind of against her. But
All right, I got an Ask Reddit for you guys. Posted by Silent Zebra. What's the grossest thing you've ever seen someone do in public?
ew, oh gosh. Okay. Please do some good ones.
Top comment with almost 4,000 upvotes. Walked out of a supermarket, squat in between the automatic doors, lift dress, take a huge dump right there, not even bother wiping with anything, stand up, walk away with an automatic door, squash the shit. I
Ooh.
honestly felt like I had landed in a bizarro world. So, did the dozen or so other people watching this happen in broad daylight? The fact that her 6 to 7 year old stood next to her and was completely unfazed by any of it made me think it was neither the first nor the most extreme thing she had ever done.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not. She's done it a decent amount of times for it to be unfazed. Because I feel like as a kid, you'd be phased at least the first 4 times.
Yeah, he's
That's
just standing
crazy.
there. He's just
Now it's
standing there
just
waiting.
routine. He's just like, bam, 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 waiting for her to poop. Go, go, go. That is insane. No, thank you. Oh my god, can you imagine watching that? I mean, I guess you've seen a few people poop on that side, but
Someone said, well, that's what a poop knife is for. And
Okay.
someone else replied, poop knife is for getting it down the toilet. Poop doors is for squishing.
Exactly. That's disgusting, but not wrong.
I got another one with almost 3,000 votes. Once while I was having dinner at a chicken place with my family many, many years ago, this couple in the corner literally started picking each other's face acne and wiping it with napkins.
Oh,
A manager came over and kicked them out.
thank goodness.
I love popping my pimples, but not in public.
Yeah. And around food is crazy.
Crazy.
I don't like doing it. I like watching the videos of people popping the pimples and stuff.
Yeah. But I'm
But
in the
around
privacy of my own
food,
bathroom.
yeah. But also around food is disgusting. The one time I tried to watch Dr. Pimple Popper, I was eating the first time. And I was
Ugh.
like, that's a no, dog. I should not be doing that because that's disgusting.
Seriously.
And that is crazy. That means you're touching with your hands and you be eating your chicken. And chicken, something you eat with your hands. That's disgusting.
And then you're popping pimples with greasy chicken hands. You're just adding pimples to
So
the
now
pimple.
you're making it worse with the open wound and you're putting chicken grease in it.
Jesus.
And you're touching your damn chicken with that nasty hands. Oh my god, the cleanliness. I'm not that big of a germaphobe, but
Yeah.
that's disgusting. That's making me icked out.
And then someone said, meth heads? And a person replied to them, probably blackheads.
That's hilarious. Jesus.
Here's one with 2,500 votes. The elevator door opened. I saw a man inside peeing in the corner casually.
Oh.
I obviously took the stairs.
No, most definitely. You did that.
Someone replied, joke's on you, stairs are for number 2.
Yeah, dude. Or apparently.
He probably thought he was stuck and he was Dwight when they get stuck in the elevator. Gotta establish a pee corner now.
Exactly. It's exactly what he did.
Yeah. That's all it was.
That's so funny. Jesus.
Oh my god. Okay. This one has almost 3,600 upvotes.
Okay.
I saw a homeless woman pull lights out of her hair and drop them in another woman's hair who was sitting in front of her.
I would be pissed if someone put lights.
New fear unlocked.
Yeah. Oh,
someone replied, that has to be a criminal act of some kind. I don't know if it would be considered assault, but it's gotta be close.
Yeah. Jesus. You couldn't get them in trouble because you wouldn't even notice it till they start like you feeling the lights. Unless someone points it out, the person watching you points it out.
Yeah, honestly.
And I hope they did because then you can go with light stuff so it doesn't get bad. That's insane. That's insane. Jesus.
Yeah, all around those are crazy. A lot of people pooping.
Yeah.
And it's so believable because I've seen all of 3 people poop
in
public.
Yeah.
In my life. Yeah. Just walking the streets.
I'm honestly not surprised.
Yeah. So, not crazy that the craziest thing someone's seen someone do in public is mostly pooping stuff.
Yeah. I honestly, when you said the question, I expected a lot of pooping stuff.
Yeah.
It was my first
because I've seen it too much.
I knew you have. That's why I knew for a fact.
And I don't know why I'm always the person, I'm always looking around, head on a swivel, and I'm always like,
head's on my swivel, but I don't stop to look at people though. I keep it.
I need to stop.
Keep it moving.
I need to stop.
Yeah. All right, we'll finish it off with a petty revenge posted by Unlucky Professor 798. She stole my snack. I swapped it with spicy. We've got a snack thief at work. Fridge is shared, so stuff goes missing sometimes, but mine kept vanishing. Always the chips, never the sandwich, never the fruit, just the snack. At first I thought maybe someone grabbed it by mistake, but it kept happening. Same brand, same time of day, and I'm 99% sure it was one specific coworker who always stayed late and forgot her lunch. So I grabbed a bag of ghost pepper chips, a piqui. I don't know if you would know it.
PAQUI.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a spicy chip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Didn't know that. I knew you would know because you know spicy facts. Anyways, and 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 emptied them into my usual chip bag. Sealed it back up, nice and neat, stuck it in my lunchbox like nothing changed. Around 1 p.m., I heard this loud coughing fit in the break room, like full on choking, water being poured, someone trying not to die. She comes back, red faced, watery eyes, and totally in silent.
Nice.
Didn't even look at me, sat at her desk the rest of the day, not saying a word.
Nice.
I nearly choked on my food trying not to laugh. Haven't lost a snack since.
Nice. I gotta look up that chip because I'm not sure if that's just the hot chip or if that's like the hot chip challenge. I just know of the name.
Yeah. Can say I didn't look it up because I was
Oh yeah. One chip challenge. So
cool.
it's like a
This
freaking hot
yeah,
chip.
spicy.
So
Cool.
her mouth probably didn't stop hurting the rest
I
of the day.
assume that's what it was, but I was like, I'm not gonna look it up because I'm pretty sure Aurora would know.
Yeah, I knew the name. I just couldn't remember. Once once I heard the name, I couldn't remember if it was the one chip challenge or that. And
Yeah,
then I wanted to listen to your story before I looked it up.
I feel that.
But yeah, I was pretty sure it was the one chip challenge chips.
Dang, that means it's
So it's
spicy.
hot. Yeah.
Damn.
I would have done the exact same though. Stop
Yes.
touching my chips.
Yeah.
Although my chips would have been hot chips to begin with, but not that kind of hot.
Yeah, not even close.
But yeah, 100%. Stop touching people's snacks in the workplace.
Man, people gotta stop touching people's food, dude.
So
It'd be
there's
crazy.
so much.
But I'm also not mad about it because good stories. I love hearing people swap out foods.
Yeah.
Like the one earlier that you had of swapping out the laxatives, the chocolates for
Yeah,
laxatives.
that's true.
I love flop. It's like flipping out food stories. They're so funny.
Yeah.
They get me good.
But yeah, if that was me, like if you're gonna keep eating my food, you could just if like you know it's my food, just ask me. I
Yeah.
don't mind being the person who brings an extra bag of chips for you, but I don't want to be out of my chips when I come to eat lunch.
Yeah. It's supposed to complete my whole meal.
Yeah. If you do always forget lunch, tell me that like, do you mind bringing me lunch? I'll bring you lunch.
Facts.
I'll bring you lunch every single day. Just leave my lunch alone.
Facts, bro. You talking about me eating a sandwich with just fruit? Nah, G. I better
need
have
my
my chips.
chips.
I need a chips in my sandwich. I can't eat a sandwich ever
Yeah.
without damn
My
chips.
my fruit is just so I can say I ate something healthy that day.
Exactly. So you can take it.
Give me my freaking chips.
Eat my damn fruit.
Eat my
I'm
fruit
not-
over my chips.
Exactly. I need chips with my sandwich. I can't be eating a sandwich without no
100%.
chips. Uh-uh.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like meet like a healthy requirement for the day, and that's why I have fruit.
Exactly.
Because I'm gonna go home and like binge eat more chips.
Yeah.
Don't eat my chips.
Don't mess with them chips, bro.
But good one.
Yeah. I used to get a medium pizza. I'd eat half for lunch and half for dinner. The food thief, the food thief would steal some of or all of what was left, and I'd have to go out for dinner. One day I sprinkled ghost pepper flakes on the pizza. Then I found out who the food thief was. Never laughed so hard in my life. And someone commented, tell us what happened.
Yeah.
We need the vicariousness. The person commented back, food thief took out a slice, bit into it with gusto, started coughing, threw up all over the kitchen floor on the way to the restroom. I was called into HR and told that assault charges may be filed. I was like, for what? They tried to write me up, and I was like, for what? No charges or write up ever happened, and the food thief left after a few months.
Yeah, because I mean, what can you charge me for? He ate my food. If he never
Yeah.
touched it, that's mine.
Facts.
I can't help that it's spicy.
Yeah.
I brought in spicy food. It's not like I poisoned it.
Exactly.
It's just spicy food.
Yeah. That's on them, bro. They chose to eat that.
But I was kind of waiting for that with the chip one.
Yeah.
But then once I heard ghost pepper on that pizza, I was like, oh God, this guy's gonna throw up.
Yeah.
Most people who do hot like that, oh my God. And I heard bite with gusto, I was like, this
Yeah, dude.
sucker's gonna throw up.
Yeah, the lady either one maybe is used to somewhat of spicy food, or they eat chips like me. I eat chips in like 3 different bites because I eat it smaller bites. So
Yeah.
she could have took a small bite.
Well, if I remember right, those chips are like this big. They're pretty
Mm,
big hot chips.
got it, got it.
So
So
you
yeah, she
would
probably
just take like a bite.
yeah.
And then I can't remember if I don't think they're ghost pepper or anything. But like raw ghost pepper is crazy hot.
Yeah. I would bet. I bet.
That would be so fun though. I would try a piece of the pizza, but after asking permission.
Facts.
But yeah, 100%, yeah, you couldn't do anything about that. That's what also like amazes me about people eating other people's food is like you don't know what those ingredients are. Like I guess I'm not allergic to anything, but like at the same time, are you taking chances that you're not allergic to anything in there? The amount of people that I hear eat people's food, it's like none of you have allergies, none of you are worried.
Not even just that of like I guess to call myself out here, but when I used to take food into work, when I worked in like an office, I would like, I'm not a person who's the best at packing my food up instantly. And I do leave like meats out for a few hours. For me, myself, and I now have an iron stomach. I built myself up to that.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone ever ate my food, I don't know, they might end up getting food poisoning from it. And that feels like it's on them and not on me. Or I
Yeah.
leave pizza out for a day and I'll still eat it. I'm not worried
Yeah.
because I'm a person who does not care, and my stomach has built up to that situation where it doesn't make me sick anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But best believe it probably makes you sick, and have fun with that. So, and not even just like you have allergies, like what too spicy, you don't know what their food has in it.
Yeah.
But three, you don't even know what kind of person they are. You're Russian letting the hell out of this. What if that person also didn't even realize like their meat's bad and they cooked with it? And
Yeah.
now you're gonna get food poisoning. That's on you, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, people at work are always. We had an issue with that for a little bit, where people were just eating meals from the fridge. But then that's like what they said. They were like, "Hey, just so you know, like, yeah, we do provide cheeses and some veggies and things in there. But if they're in like a container that looks like it was probably brought from home, it's probably not provided by us, and it's
Yeah.
probably brought from home." And every time they say that, like me and my coworkers sit next to me are always like, "You're just like taking your chances on whatever this food is."
Yeah, dude.
And to be honest, like, I'd be more mad if I randomly saw my food in the trash because you didn't like it. If someone ate my
I
food and
thought.
they didn't freaking like it, and then they
Yeah, no
ruined
finish it.
my lunch and their lunch,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be mad. I'm
I'd
gonna
be
be even more
livid.
mad.
Which honestly, maybe that's why this lady kept taking chips. You can more take a chance on chips, they're sealed.
Yeah, and
But
like,
still.
yeah, one they're sealed to like, well, they have to be in like a baggie or something because she wasn't off put by the one chip challenge chips. She put like that. She must have put a few in them in the baggie,
Yeah.
so she wasn't thrown off. But yeah, I guess like chips, like you mostly know what the main ingredients of chips are, so you might not be allergic. But I
Facts.
don't know. It just throws me off when people do that.
Yeah, dude. Someone did comment. My favorite excuse is when they say, I didn't know whose it was. I usually tell them, well, you knew for damn sure it
Was
wasn't
it
yours.
yours?
And some people, it looks like these two people commented their stories because they're the person that's taking the food.
Oh, okay.
So this person commented, one time I didn't get time to eat lunch and just grabbed my bag from the fridge to take home. Later that night, my BF asked where the burrito came from. And I truly had no idea what he was talking about. Turns out I had grabbed someone else's matching plastic bag and stole their food. I felt so bad. I called a unit charge and gave them my number and asked around if they heard any word of a missing lunch to let me know because I was going to Venmo them for DoorDash or something. No one ever said anything and I never found out who it was. It's been years and I still feel bad that I stole someone's lunch. Another person said, I stole someone's food on accident too. I got set up though. LOL. Boss bought the office Starbucks, whatever we wanted. My fat ass got a caramel frappe thing, going all in on sugar. I was like last to put my order on the list and was the only one with the coffee drip milk. And was the only one with the coffee milkshake. Everyone else got hot coffee. Or so I thought. Went to grab my drink out of the fridge where my OM said she put it. And there was only one drink in there, a caramel frappe, except it had a straw in it already. Weird. But I hadn't had Starbucks in years, so maybe they do that. Later, my pregnant coworker came up to me and asked how her drink was. Huh? I explained above, and there were no other drinks left. So, where the hell did mine go? Either way, I felt so bad. I bought her a new one over lunch. Ended up finding out later one of the other hygienists. Oh, ended up finding out later one of the other hygienists knowingly took mine because she, and I quote, changed her mind. They put mother f.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
see, those are like such pure accidents. And like that's the
Facts.
thing is like, okay, an accident's an accident. Like if you accidentally take the wrong bag, you
Mm-hmm.
think that something is yours, but it's not. Like those are pure accident. Like yeah, if I'm pregnant, I might come up and going, "Excuse me, how was that?"
Yeah.
Like I might come up super hostile, but she was very nice and bought another one. But like the other ones where they did the spicy stuff, both those people said they constantly keep eating their food.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's not like, oops, I accidentally. It's like
Facts.
I actually want to eat your stuff, and I'm gonna keep eating your stuff until you do something about it.
Facts.
So
Yeah. And this last person, it's like, yeah, you kind of got played because the other person knowingly took your drink.
yeah, yeah, 100%. She
So
knew what she
you
ordered.
got played. So now you got yelled up at this other coworker and had to buy this other coworker a drink because you accidentally drank theirs for the fact because someone stole yours.
Yeah, just because you didn't feel like having that anymore.
Yeah.
Who cares if you feel like having it? That's what you ordered.
Yeah. That's what you're getting. Jesus.
Just because you ordered something,
Also,
it's like, are you gonna go to Starbucks, order a drink, and then when you get it, you're like, oh, I actually don't feel like that anymore. I'm just gonna take the person next to mine's drink.
yeah. Like, what the hell? Nah.
No, you're just gonna drink what you freaking ordered,
Exactly.
or you throw it away and order a new one.
Yeah. Go grab yourself one at lunch then.
Yeah,
Like, what the hell?
come
Yeah,
on,
I'd be
son.
pissed. But I'll finish with one more comment of somebody's and then we'll wrap up. So, when I was in college, I worked in a bar that had a dance floor. The place was always packed, and sometimes you needed a bulldozer to part the sea of human flesh. I served drinks, lots and lots of drinks, probably 50% were shots, especially as the night got later. People used to steal drinks off my tray as I made my way through the crowd. They were hard to catch when they are so many people. I told the bartender I told the bartender to make me a bunch of shots that were hot sauce and water. I replaced them on the outsides of the tray with my real drinks closer to the center. Many were stolen, and the shouts of WTF still ring in my ears and make me smile to this day. I watched many of patrons' faces turn red as they gasped and shouted, "Don't mess with people serving food and drinks in the bars and restaurants."
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, don't be stealing people's drinks.
Yeah, dude. Mess
Because
with people's
most of
things.
that I know comes out of like their money.
Yes.
And they already like a lot of people don't tip well or don't tip at all. Like
Yeah.
take from their money.
And working in an office, you don't know what people make and how much. Like, some people will bring their food from home so that they can, like, have it for later. And, like, that
I was
person
talking
buying a
about the
pizza.
servers
No, I know. I'm
specifically. Oh,
saying all of
okay.
these. No, I'm saying, yeah, servers, like, yeah, a lot of those do come
But
in
yeah, yeah.
American, and so now you're messing with those person's money. You're messing with the people at the office's money because they have to rebuy food for
Food.
themselves because now their meals are messed up.
Especially like the pizza one. He eats it
Eats
for 2 meals and then you're wasting
exactly
it.
now he has to order for dinner. He said because obviously
Yeah.
you don't have groceries, you expect your pizza from the
Night morning
morning
before.
before. So like, yeah, now he's played. Now he has to buy food
Yeah.
again. It's whack. What are some of your takeaways from today? My takeaways for today, though, are kind of just like pay attention to people telling you stuff. People telling you or giving you hints of like, stop stealing my food. People telling you, don't walk down that path because there's a skunk. You gotta listen to people. People telling you, stop eating my chocolate and stealing it from me. And then, because sometimes they're gonna come back for you.
Hmm.
They're gonna get their revenge. You gotta be listening.
Yeah, I think for me, my takeaways is there's a lot of wild people out there, whether it's like and they some of them correct themselves. Like the exchange family. Well, I guess we didn't see an update on the exchange
No,
family.
we didn't see them. I can change.
But like well, I guess none of them changed. Who am I thinking here?
Well, I mean, the snack person did.
The one, the one,
The one person
the
did.
one girl
She didn't
did.
steal a snack
But the
again.
guy didn't. The guy didn't. He went harder and he was like, I'm gonna press assault charges. And
Yeah.
then
And like the guy pretends like he changed for the better in the
I
coworker
know I
one.
was gonna say that one, but then I was like, but he
No,
didn't. He was
he
like,
didn't.
he
He
was
was
telling everybody else how sorry and heartfelt he was,
yeah, but has not
but
said or
never
done
said anything
anything
to
to her
her.
and let her pay for her own equipment to be fixed. So yeah, I don't think anybody changed. But
So stay petty.
or or I guess your takeaway, I guess maybe could have been be better. Take these as life lessons. Change your actions. Apologize to people when you're rude to them. That address me.
Be nice, but to people like this, be petty.
Yeah.
But maybe, yeah, maybe
But
change
if
if
you
you are
are one of
acting
the
like
people,
this.
you know what? We'll let it slide the first time. That's okay. Things happen.
Yeah.
You're rude once.
Next time,
You know,
hot chips and hot pizza.
yeah. Be better. Learn from your situation. Be better. So that's it for today. Comment any crazy people you've seen out in the world doing some crazy stuff. And if it's pooping, we like to hear it either way. So share those below. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye.
Bye.